Good? Okay. Sorry, I was trying to stream with a setup I haven't used before. So today I wanted to go ahead and talk about, because in the last video that I released yesterday, I mentioned that there's a 4-week release schedule that I hadn't really addressed on this channel yet. So I'm going to walk you guys through that, talk about a couple of things, and it could have been the compression, it could have been loop back audio, it could have been a whole bunch of different things in the chain that was messing up. So on Tuesday, that's when the 4-week period of videos is going to change up again, and essentially every single Tuesday there will be a review, but what's going to change is what type of video comes out on Friday. So for the first week, it's going to be review and then the Versus series. So this next week, I'm really excited about it because I've been waiting to make this video for quite some time. And, you know, there may be a microphone that I've been testing for a while that I'm going to review and then compare against some similar microphones, if you catch my drift. So I'm really excited about what's coming up this next week. And then week 2, again, review. And then I'll be doing the creator case study. Now, I have been getting some negative feedback about it. They don't do as well, but I'm going to continue to do them. And sorry, I looked at my video. It looks like it's choppy. I don't know if the video is working or not, but so creator case study, I got 2 more already recorded in the can, and I'm just releasing them once a month. We got Craig Adams, and then we got Painfully Honest Tech coming up, so I'm really excited about those. There's a lot of really interesting information that they shared, and they're just really fun conversations about those. I was initially trying to pare them down to maybe a 15-minute video, but I realized that's not the most effective form for that type of content or for that type of it's fine, no big deal. But I think what's best for that type of conversation is to have it be an actual conversation where you get to understand who that creator is and all that stuff. So with Craig's video and with Al's, actually, Cool Loser Tech, it was quite a bit longer and it wasn't as highly edited as my video or my conversation with OB. So with Craig goes off the rails and it's so fun and very fascinating. So I'm going to leave that in there. And then with the JTL with Painfully Honest Tech, we talked for probably 3 hours. We only recorded 1 hour of it, but I'm really, really excited about that one because we talk about remaining impartial when you're a reviewer, or how to maintain journalistic integrity when you're reviewing, and how when money gets involved from companies, or if they're sending you free stuff, how do you maintain that journalistic integrity so you don't become overly biased or betray your viewers' trust. So that's week 2, the creator case study. Now, depending on how it does for the next 2 episodes, I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to keep doing it. I really do enjoy it, so I probably will. But I know some people really don't like it. But you know what? Who cares? Then week 3, review again on Tuesday, and then an FAQ. That's what I did with the you're talking into your microphone wrong, which is a video I never thought I would have to make or never wanted to make. But that's something that I really enjoy making those videos, but they are quite a bit more time consuming. There's a lot more time that goes into it. So once a month is all I can do, and I don't know if I'm going to just go back to send me all your questions. I'll answer about what I do for a day job. I'm not going to do that. I like this stuff that's more. I hate to sound like a typical YouTuber, but I like having stuff that's evergreen, so people will be able to view it for a long time. But if it is just a Q&A where I talk about myself, very, very few people are interested in that, and it feels like just a very short thing for myself and the few people who are in the live stream or send in the questions, but everybody else gets bored about that. So FAQ, that's a lot of fun. And then week 4, I do the review and then a random video. Now, that's really pretty much anything I want. I have some ideas for dumb videos that I want to do, but I don't know if I'm going to come through with that. And that was the ultimate travel podcast setup. I don't even know if it would be interesting, but just going through my history with Mac computers, because I like those, or talking about the smartphones I've had. It has nothing to do with the focus of this channel, but it's just something to keep it interesting and switch it up for me, to keep me interested and keep it from becoming too monotonous and too redundant. So that's something that I really enjoy doing, those random videos. So that is the main thing I wanted to talk about. Next, in my travel podcast video, a gentleman said, do you even podcast? He wasn't aware that I podcasted, and he was wondering why I was talking about it, or just confused why I reviewed so many microphones. And it seemed like a criticism about, why are you testing all these microphones? You don't even podcast. I obviously shared my podcast with him, and if you do want to check out the podcast, head over to bandrewsays.com. It's a really easy way to find it. But the thing I wanted to ask you guys, and there's actually a straw poll in the description to this live stream, or at least it should be. I'll go ahead and post it in the live chat as well. The question is, do you think it would be interesting or fun or useful for me to upload this podcast to the Podcastage channel? Now, that would be uploaded on Sunday or Monday. It's 30 minutes long, typically, sometimes 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and it's just talking about general technology, talking about news over the last week, talking about conspiracy theories, or how I've gone farther off the deep end. So go ahead and check out that straw poll and let me know if you think that is a good idea, a bad idea, it's stupid, don't do it. This is a mic review channel, and I don't want to know what you're doing. We got one vote for what's a podcast. I don't know what a podcast is. So I'll go ahead and let that keep running for a bit as I talk about the next thing, which is just Twitch streaming. I've just been Twitch streaming over the last month, I think, for one day out of the week. And to everybody in the comments, I will be answering questions towards the end. So as far as Twitch, I've been streaming some games. I did a live stream where I edited a podcast as well as edited a Podcastage review video. So if you do want to see that, I think they are VOD still. So if you are interested in that, twitch.tv/podcastage. Again, the link is in the description, so you can check that out if you are interested in that. And the reason I'm doing that is just a lot of fun to try out a new platform, arena, a new medium. It's a similar medium to what I'm doing here. It's video, but live streaming is a completely different tool set, a completely different skill that you have to acquire. So that has just been a lot of fun for me to do, and I'm going to try to do more, not experimental stuff, but stuff that I'm not typically comfortable with, and I think that would be a lot of fun. But it's re-registering as what's a podcast. I don't know why that wouldn't work. I just know people use straw poll. But oh, Mauricio, I didn't. Greetings, Earthlings. Sorry about that. Oh, would have had a nightmare. So if you do want to check that out, I've been playing Alan Wake, which is an old game. Metal Oak, are you kidding? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Very much appreciate you. We should talk conspiracy theories sometime. So the thing with conspiracy theories is I love researching them. I think a lot of them are just goofy as all get out, but I do really enjoy them. But thank you very much. And Micah, thank you. My podcast is on Spotify, as well as iTunes, as well as Google Play, as well as Google Podcasts. It's in, I think, every single podcatcher or streaming service that you can get. Maybe iHeartRadio. I don't think it's there. I don't know if anybody uses iHeartRadio, though. So I think it's everywhere. Podcatchers. And then if you do want to watch the video, it has been being uploaded to youtube.com/geeksrising. youtube.com/geeksrising. Drop that in the chat. Google Play Music. Yeah, it's in Google Play. It's in Google Podcasts. It's everywhere. And if you do want the video format right now, it's on Geeks Rising. But like I said, I'm considering uploading it to this channel just to give people something else if they're interested in that. And then people will stop thinking, well, why is he just talking about microphones? He doesn't even use them. Even if I didn't use them, who cares? Why are you spending money a way that I wouldn't spend money? Get off my back, you dopes. Next, merch. I got merch made. Good way to ingratiate yourself with your audience. Call them dopes. Good way to do it. Got merch. If you are interested in it, go ahead and it's down below. It's on Teespring. And then there's also I also put it on Amazon. It's more expensive over there, but I did that just to try it out. Maybe people trust Amazon a little bit better, but honestly, it's the same printing quality. They all smell like vinegar when you get them. And if you have ordered one of these shirts, just know it's going in and out periodically. Okay. Get Logan Paul on this channel. What was I saying? Oh, when you buy one of these from Amazon or from Teespring, they do smell like vinegar. My understanding of why they smell like vinegar is because they soak them in vinegar, which makes sense. And the reason they soak them in vinegar is because it helps set the ink that they use to print it. So I actually really like the quality of the hoodies and the shirts from Teespring and all that stuff. And your mom Earthling, bro, what camera are you using for this? Logitech C920 or C920? C922. C922. And one thing that I'm going to talk about this. One thing I can't stand about a lot of YouTubers and their merch is the fact that they charge so much dang money. I see so many YouTubers having shirts on Teespring for $22, $25. Looking at the back end, it costs like $11 or $12 for that. So it's insane. They're requesting a $10 or $20, or not $20, but $10 or $12 or $13 profit when they're taking on none of the risk. So I set my shirts a lot lower. I think there's $12. I want a simplified shirt, but his shirt's simple flips. Yeah, it's $25. It's ridiculous. $25 unless you're actually taking on the risk yourself and doing the fulfillment yourself, and you have the overhead to cover yourself. Unless you're taking on that risk, I don't think you need to be charging $25 for a shirt. If you're going through a third-party printer, set it so you earn $1 or $2 max. That's all you should be earning. So I have a simplified one that just has the podcaster's name on the front. That's $12 for a shirt or $23 for the hoodie. And then one with the podcaster's thing on the front. And then the logo on the back, since it's two-sided, that is, what is it? $15 and $30. So I set it at as fair a price as I could, and I think it's a good price. I would have liked them to be $10, but I would have had to pay them for every shirt sold if I set them that low. So I set them as low as I could, and if you are interested, more power to you. I honestly put it there because I just wanted a hoodie as Podcastage, so I don't have to wear a plain hoodie all the time. Another super chat from Jeremy. Thank you very much, Jeremy. He says, both my podcasts sound a ton better over the past few months, and that's thanks to you. Appreciate what you do. Jeremy, thank you very much. I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate the super chat, and I'm super happy to hear that I have, in any small way, been able to help you improve your audio quality, because as a podcaster yourself, you are your biggest critic. And the small changes I make to my podcast, I doubt anybody will know. But when you improve the audio quality of your podcast, it gives you an added bit of confidence where you're more willing to share it around, and you're not as concerned. You're not saying, oh, well, if I share this, somebody's going to criticize me because it doesn't sound that good. So even if it's a small improvement, it just makes it so much better in terms of promotion because you're more comfortable sharing it. So I am very happy to hear that and glad I could help in any small way that I did. So thank you very much. Lady Foxfire, thank you for everything you do. I will be saving up for better audio in my videos. Thank you, Lady Foxfire. And Lady Foxfire recommended that I play Alan Wake, and I don't do well with horror games. So Lady Foxfire, thank you very much. And I cannot wait to hear your videos when you upgrade your audio, and just keep making awesome content. And don't you dare ever recommend a horror game for me, especially today. I played one chapter on Twitch and it took 3 hours. It was a grind. One Dull Geek, I'm with Jeremy. Your videos have really helped my Twitch audio setup. Thank you so much. Absolutely, One Dull Geek. Thank you very much for the super chat. You guys are ridiculously generous today. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And I'm very happy to hear that you've been able to improve your Twitch audio setup, and happy that I could help in the small way or any small way that I could. So thank you guys so much for that. Very much appreciate you. So I covered merch. Let's go ahead and check the straw poll. See where we're at there. Should I upload my podcast to the Podcastage channel? View results. Looks like a resounding yes with a couple of no's and a couple of what's a podcast? 28 total votes. I'm okay with that. So I think this Sunday or Monday, I'll go ahead and do a test run. I'll go ahead and upload it here and see if people are interested in it, and, just have fun with it. If people talk crap, more power to them. It happens. People will hate what I do sometimes. People like the same thing to be uploaded, and I understand that. I understand that mentality, subscribing to a channel because you want this type of content. But after I've been doing this for 3 years now, after 3 years, it gets somewhat redundant. I'm not saying I don't enjoy it, because I still love getting new microphones and playing around with them and writing dumb songs for them and just talking into them and sharing them with you guys. But it does get redundant because they are so... The testing is so specific. I don't know if that's the right word. So standardized, I guess. And, it's just, I'm trying to switch it up a little bit to keep it interesting for the people who are getting tired of just microphone reviews, and to keep it interesting for myself. So, I'm going to go ahead and try it. Thank you for the input there, guys. Very much appreciate you voting on the straw poll, and we'll see what people say. Another super chat from Metal Oak. I should start a podcast. I think you should. That's the amazing thing about podcasts. The barrier of entry is so low that anybody could start a podcast. The thing that I suggest for people with their podcast is to just... First step, you got to talk about what you enjoy talking about, because when you first start out, nobody's going to be listening, and that can be very disheartening. If you're recording podcasts for 4 weeks or 4 months, I should say, and you have 5 downloads and they're all yourself and your co-host and your mom and your dad and your brother, it can be a little bit disheartening. But if you enjoy the topic and the content that you're discussing, then who cares? If you're having fun, that's all that really matters. And then as time goes on, if you have a really niche product and people see value in it, it will grow. So yeah, go for it. 100%, I recommend you do that. Mark Yates, a super chat. I appreciate the hard work. I love the channel, and it's one of the best on YouTube. Congrats on an amazing channel. I wish I could do more right now. Mark, $8 is plenty. Thank you so much. You guys are insanely generous. What's happening? I'm not used to this kind of generosity. You guys are too kind. You guys are too good to me. And I enjoy doing it. So the treat is mine. I get to play with microphones. I have gas, not like actual gas, but gear acquisition syndrome. And this just allows me to justify it. It's fun. So thank you guys for watching and allowing me to, or I should say, enabling me in my addiction to buy microphones. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let's open it up for questions. Q&A. Anybody got questions? I saw some questions at the beginning, but I cannot scroll all the way up. Humbug Show, how you doing, man? Alexander. Hi, Bander. Quick Q. Behringer UMC 22 interface plus Behringer C1 mic for beginning home studio. Play mainly guitar on clean electric, and I don't do any singing for now. I think that would be fine. The Behringer C1, man, I haven't listened to that microphone test in quite some time, and I will admit I've become quite a bit more discerning or critical of microphones. I probably should go back and retest a lot of the microphones I did initially because I would probably be a little bit harsher on them, but yeah, you got somebody in the chat right here, Ethereal, saying, I like my C1 for guitar and vocals. And I think that's a perfectly fine starting setup if you're just getting up and running. I mean, the most important thing is it doesn't sound like complete garbage. And I don't think that would be a complete garbage setup. And the next most important thing, or probably the most important thing, is just to make good music. If that's what you're doing, make good music and have fun with it. So, yeah, I think that's a good setup you got going. Dave25, what do you do for lighting? Let me see if I can. This is probably going to screw up the camera, but I got that. And then that. So I just got a main light and then a hair light. That's what I got for my lighting setup. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. I'm not the happiest with my lighting setup. I think it could be improved a lot, but given how small this space is, I just don't have room to do so. So if I ever move, yeah. Retest. Oh, what's your favorite plug and play microphone? Oh, right before that. Welder Guy. These two go perfectly together, from Welder Guy and Super Wolfie Gaming. Do you recommend the Q2U for gaming videos? That's from Welder Guy. And Super Wolfie Game, what's your favorite plug-and-play mic? That's the camera I'm looking into. I think Welder Guy answered the question, because if you end up going into my Discord server, again, I think the link is in the description. Maybe it's not, but if you ask for a gaming microphone that's budget, pretty much everybody there is going to recommend the Samson Q2U. I think that is probably one of the best plug-and-play microphones, especially considering how cheap it is. It is just an absolute steal. So, absolutely, 100% Samson Q2U. That's what I would say for budget or a plug-and-play mic. USB dynamic, and then it also has the XLR output, so you can upgrade down the line if you need to. Podcast. Be specific on niche. MXL 990 or AKG P120. So first up, podcast. Be specific on niche. Jeremy, as far as being specific, I don't know if you're asking me to describe what I mean by being niche. For instance, the Podcastage channel. It could have just been a generic tech channel, but I focused on microphones because that's what was interesting to me. Now, if I went general tech, I wouldn't have any subscribers because there's people who do it so much better than I would. Now, I should clarify in terms of being specific or focusing on a niche for your podcast. That's if you want to grow. For me, I just do my podcast because it's an excuse to go ahead and research tech over the last week or the news over the last week, and it's something fun for me to do. I don't care if it grows. I know there are probably better tech podcasts out there, but I just have fun with it. I throw my little spin in there, and I get a little kooky and spooky and conspiratorial. I have a little conspiracy corner that I go into from time to time. I don't have the audio plugged in right now, but yeah, if you want to grow, niche down, focus on, instead of general tech, maybe talk about PCs, maybe talk about Macs. If you go look at Twit, which would be this Week in Tech, yeah, the Twit podcast network or Netcast network. Look at how they have their shows. They have This Week in Tech, which is just a broad general tech podcast, which has been going for 15 years. That's why that's popular. And then they got stuff like This Week in Radio Tech. They got Mac Break Weekly. They got This Week in iOS, or iOS Today, I should say. They got a bunch of different podcasts that focus on very specific and very focused topic areas, which make them a lot easier for people to find. That was just for the folks who wanted to start a podcast. Good starter mic, specific topic for growth. Okay, gotcha. Agree then, yeah. Be specific on niche. MXL 990 or AKG P120. For podcasting, neither. I don't think you should go with either of those for a podcast necessarily. I think something like the Samson Q2U would be a better starting off option, but if you had to go with one of those, I would probably trust AKG a little bit more. I haven't listened to those microphones in quite some time, and I don't have an eidetic memory, so I can't remember exactly how they sound. I would have to go back and re-listen to the reviews, look at the specs, look at all that stuff. To be honest, though, after reviewing the AKG P220, I think it was this last week or 2 weeks ago, I was not a fan of that. That was so top-heavy. It was so overly bright and brittle sounding, and just, it didn't sound like it was only boosted 4 decibels. It sounded rough. So, yeah, I just was not a big fan of that. MXL 990, I think that's another very bright microphone, but I do remember liking that one quite a bit. And I think it's significantly cheaper than the P120 because you are getting the 990 and the 991 for, I think, $100. Yeah, good starter microphones. Samson Q2U. That's just such a killer mic. Okay, what do we got going on in the chat? What microphones do you recommend for gaming? Samson Q2U, 100% for starters. It's budget. It sounds great. It does a good job of background noise rejection. It comes with almost everything you need, and I love it. Wireless microphone, please. The thing with wireless microphones is, and that's from Gerardo. Thank you for the question, Gerardo. Or request, I should say. A lot of the budget wireless mics are just trash. And I know I've reviewed some okay, I see what you guys are talking about. It just goes in and out of focus. I think it's because my hands are waving and it's trying to focus on those. But as far as budget wireless, it's trash. If you want a decent wireless microphone, you're going to be looking at a few $100 at the low end. So I think a better option than going for a wireless microphone is getting just a regular handheld microphone or whatever microphone you need, and then go ahead and pick up one of those XLR recorders. It just plugs into the end of the microphone like a microphone flag or something, plugs into the XLR port, and it records there. It's not the best quality, but if you are looking to get good quality for relatively cheap and you want to go wireless, I think that's a much better option than buying one of these $50 or $100 wireless kits off of Amazon. I just don't think they're up to par. I do gaming podcasts about the gaming industry and console gaming. There you go. You're focusing in on the gaming industry and console gaming. Console gaming is not very popular right now, so I doubt there are too many podcasts competing with you, and I think that's a good thing. One Dull Geek. Welder Guy says you should. Harold says, yay, senpai notice me. I'm not a senpai. Welder Guy, you should review cameras. I've tried. I don't know enough about cameras to do it. And cameras are just so dang expensive. One Dope Geek says, how does the tone of your voice change after going through a YouTube live stream? E.g., how different is what you're hearing in your ears versus what we're hearing? It should be exactly the same. Now, the biggest struggle that a lot of people have is hearing their voice for the first time in headphones because you don't sound like you think you sound. You always sound very different, and it can be a little bit jarring. But as far as what's being uploaded to YouTube and what I hear in my ears, it should be pretty similar. There will be some degradation of the audio because YouTube does compress it, and I imagine that I'm streaming from OBS. I think it's probably compressing it as well to send it up. So there will be a small degradation of the audio, but yeah. Hope that answers it. What do we got? What do we got? There's a set to disable autofocus. Yeah, I had that up. Let's go ahead and turn that off. I had that up because I had to adjust the gain. Autofocus. I think that's good. Okay. Save. Now we shouldn't have that. Hopefully I'm in focus. I have really bad eyes. I can never tell. Okay. Next question. What do we got? Going to start a theory podcast where I upload one theory podcast, like the first one would be the Kennedy assassination. Metal Oak, I had a plan to do a podcast about conspiracy theories called Paradox. And I got to say, this gentleman, Guy, did, I think I'm pronouncing his name right. He did the artwork for it, and it's incredible. Really, really wanted to launch it, but the co-host just boxed. Come on, guys. Oh, there's a microphone in that one. There. Jeez. That was a rough one. What is the Neewer NW800 versus the 635A other video? I don't think those microphones are really comparable. Okay, so, dude, I have an AKG D5 directly into my PC with a mono to 3.5 adapter. There is some noise when I use the mic. The noise is like, creaky. Sorry, guys. That's because you're plugging directly into your computer sound card. Computer sound cards are 99% of the time absolute trash and garbage and should never be used if you want good audio quality. And, yeah, there's nothing too cheap to resolve that. I'm reluctant to even say this. XLR to USB cables can sometimes work, but typically not. XLR to USB cables, I don't recommend them because they are unreliable, the shielding's bad, and if you're paying $8 for an analog to digital converter, it's not going to be good because it's also included with an XLR cable. It can't be good quality for that. So the best option to resolve that would be pick up an XLR to XLR cable and a USB audio interface, which I know is not cheap, but sometimes you just can't get by with the cheapest solution. I wish you could. I wish there was a way to say, you know what, you only got $5. This is going to give you the perfect audio. That's just, it doesn't exist all the time. So feel bad about it. Feel bad saying that. Eldest Bro, thank you for the super chat. Your camera is fine. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Eldest. Very much appreciate you. I have been considering upgrading my, or at least the lens on my main camera. I switched out the camera. So previously, I had my 70D for my overhead shots, the B-roll, which aren't very good. I understand that. I understand it's not a beautiful shot. I'm not a cinematographer. I talk about microphones. I'm going to film it. It's going to look like trash. I'm not a cinematographer. I'm not good with footage. I'm colorblind. I can't color correct to save my life. But I did switch cameras. So now my main camera is the 70D. I'm shooting that in uncompressed, whatever, I don't even know what the file is, but gosh dang it, they are large files. Hey, Podcastage, you show me the Electro Voice 635A. Awesome. Andrew M. Shepard, you have a face made for podcasting. I agree. And you have a face made for radio. How you like them apples? Sorry if I clipped there. I don't have a compressor or limiter or anything going on right now, so. Super Wolfie Gaming, do you know how to fix this? My blue snowball cable keeps falling out of the mic no matter what USB cable I use. I don't know. It sounds like the jack on the actual snowball just got a little bit too loose. Maybe there's a jingly thing. I don't know. I'm talking out of my butt. I got nothing on how to fix that. I think you'd probably have to replace the actual jack on the snowball. What is the impedance of your current lens? It's a 10,000 ohms. Pardo, you should record drums with a lot of money. If he was too hideous, we wouldn't watch. Jeremy, thank you. God, this chat's getting out of hand. Most overrated microphone. Good question, Jeremy. I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what? The Blue Yeti. The Blue Yeti is easily the most overrated microphone. Now, I do plan on making a video about this. Humbug, are you heading out for the day? Thank you for stopping by, and I look forward to chatting with you in a chat later. So, most overrated microphone, the Yeti. Like I said, I do plan on making a video about this, and it's going to be, the Blue Yeti is not as bad as everybody thinks it is. And that could be misleading because it seems like a lot of people don't think it's that bad. A lot of people think, oh, it's a great microphone. It's the best microphone ever. But I think it is 100% overrated because people just, they see people using it, they're like, I'm going to buy that. Even though it doesn't fit the use case that they're buying it for. I don't think it's a good gaming microphone. I don't think it's a good voiceover microphone. I just think it's a good microphone for demoing music at home. That's all I think it's good for. I don't think people should be buying it for gaming because it has such a wide pickup pattern and it doesn't do a good job at background noise rejection. And one of the biggest complaints I always get is, oh yeah, it picks up too much on my keyboard. Well, then get a different microphone that doesn't pick that up. I know it's not that easy. HOH sis, I don't know what you're asking. I don't know what you're asking. I did a review of the 635A already. If you just go to my channel, I even made a video one time, how to search YouTube channels for videos. There's a video on my channel. Jeremy, thank you. I don't want to oversaturate my channel with live streams. I think once every couple of months is fine. But I do stream on Twitch, or I have been streaming on Twitch. And I really like doing that. I answer questions throughout those streams. Okay, two really good questions here. First, we'll start. Well, wait. What mic are you using for this live stream? So, which microphone should I get? SM7B? Where is your SM7B? What mic are you using? My SM7B is right here. And I am testing out the Electro Voice RE27ND for an upcoming review. Well, to answer the question about what microphone should you get, an SM7B, it really depends on your use case. This is personally my favorite microphone that I think I've ever used. This morning I was doing a remix, or last night I was doing a remix of a song I wrote for a buddy, and I needed to re-record the acoustic guitar. I just threw this flat on my desk and then mic'd up the body because I wanted a darker tone, and this worked perfectly fine for that. And you know, it's an all-around just good microphone that I love, but it depends on your use case. Now, I liked this question from One Dull Geek. Do you have an opinion on VST plugins for post-processing? Good idea or bad idea? Great question. I think they are a perfectly fine idea. So, as far as that, I don't know why I'm unsheathing my pen. Eldest, have a great day. Thank you. When are you going to review the Lewitt 440 Pure? I have it. Just don't know if I'm going to do it yet. But VSTs, I use them regularly. So I still use the Universal Audio Aero. And on my chain, I will run it through the API Vision channel strip. That's the only thing that's burned into my recordings. I will then run it through the 1176, the LA2A, and then the Pultec Pro Legacy EQ. But I run those and monitor. So that's not recorded into my software, into my DAW. Then in post-processing, I will go ahead and do any denoising that I need to do. I will go ahead and do any kind of de-essing I need to do. I will add those compressors and that EQ back on it. And then at the end, I'll just do a final compression of the entire master chain. And to be honest, I think a lot of VST plugins are as good as, well, not as good, but for most people, it would be indistinguishable between the physical hardware that they're emulating and the plugin. And that's if you go with Waves. Waves makes so many plugins. I've had a little bit of issues with them with their V10 updates, but as far as Waves does $29 sales all the time, you can get some amazing compression plugins, noise removal plugins, and 100% I would recommend them. I love using them. So yeah, VST plugins, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't, my podcast would be unedited or unprocessed, I should say. SM7B is a great all-around mic. All my vocals are recorded using the SM7B into a FET Yeah, absolutely. That's of no use if I don't have the product. He gives away so much information about many beautiful things. You guys are too nice. You guys are too nice. Rocky Balboa, thank you very much. Yo, Rocky, I did it. I very much appreciate you. Okay, what are your thoughts on using a shotgun microphone for podcasting audio only, no video, such as the Sennheiser MKH416 from Sean Park? Sean, that microphone is insanely popular. It's popular for a reason, because it sounds good. So I honestly, I don't see why you wouldn't. It's, if you got the money for it, I would love to test that out and use it, but it's just a bit out of my price range at this time, even though I shouldn't say that. I mean, I've spent a lot of money on microphones, so I could go ahead and do that. Maybe with the new release schedule where I just do 4 reviews a month, maybe I can go ahead and get into that. But yeah, I think the 416 is a great microphone that a lot of voiceover artists use, and a lot of, well, not a lot of podcasters, because us podcasters are broke, but voiceover artists, where the real money is, they use that because it's a good sounding microphone. So absolutely. Are there any free VST plugins that you like? You know, I probably just stick with the stuff that's in Audacity. I don't even know if that would be considered VST, but I don't really use any free stuff anymore. Since I upgraded to Logic Pro, if I was using anything, I would be using the Logic Pro plugins, and then as time has gone by, I have needed additional tools, and then I've purchased a paid VST. But the last free plugins I used, I guess, would be the stuff in Logic Pro, but Audacity has a bunch of plugins built in, and there are so many tutorials on YouTube about Audacity plugins and solving issues with Audacity that I think that would be your best bet, because you're going to be able to find out how to do anything because of YouTube. Best mic for singing, hands down. Are you asking a question or replying to the SM7B discussion? Why not Shure SM7B? That mic is crap. I don't know what you're getting at. You don't like the SM7B, or you don't like I'm at a loss. Are there much of a difference in levels on your Mac versus Windows PC? From Watcher, I think the last time that there was a serious discrepancy would be with CAD's USB microphones. Other than that, I don't think there's too much of a discrepancy. There's not too much difference between Mac and Windows, but sometimes there are. It's just because the plugins, the drivers are a little bit different from OS to OS. What are you sipping on, Bandrew? Pellegrino. I'm drinking Pellegrino because I look up to Patrick Bateman. No, I don't. A few people in the chat are going to get that. What's in your PC? I do not know. Oh, if you go to twitch.tv/podcastage, I have the PC listed, and then I have the graphics card, the power supply, and all that stuff. So, do you use DACs and headphone amps in your setup? From Fun for Chew. No, I do not. I just plug directly into my interfaces. My voice is going, guys. I'm going to have to end pretty soon because I just came off a 3-hour stream and my voice is hurting. But right now I'm just plugged directly into the Focusrite 2i2. When I'm podcasting, I just plug directly into the Aero, and yeah. Okay, there's a few more questions here. Oh, perfect. Here we go. Sean Park. Should I record my audio at a lower level, such as -20 to -12, so I have more headroom to boost the levels in post to -6 dB? Yes. -20, I think that may be a little bit too quiet. I would shoot for -12. That's still giving you 12 decibels to play around with in case you peak. You can boost all the other audio, and then that little peak, you can dip that out in your manual volume control or your automation. So I think -12. I've heard some people say -18. For me, I think that's a little bit too quiet. But if you have a really good preamp, I don't think that would be an issue. I think it really would just come down to how good your preamp is. Are you going to be introducing too much line noise or preamp noise? Or, yeah, I think that's what it would really come down to. I shoot for around -12, or unless I am actually burning in the processing where it has some serious compression, then I'll go ahead and shoot for -8, -6. Rip a Voice sounds like a great company name. David, you're out of control. You are out of control. There was a great question here, and where did it go? It was, what inspired you? There we go, from Connor Killian. What inspired you to begin podcasting? I'm quite interested myself. Great question. We don't just throw boxes here, we throw bottles too. I started podcasting because, well, first off, I started in maybe 2013, and it was 4 or 5 episodes over a 5-month period, and I don't think anybody listened, thank God. They were absolute garbage, and it was because I was listening to I discovered podcasts and was starting to listen to them, and I said, I can do that too. Little did I know, it takes a little bit of knowledge on how to properly process audio. You need to have content that people would be interested in. So I took a break. And then when I stopped drinking back in 2015, all my friends continued to drink, so I needed something or some way to vent and scream about all my anger, and podcasting was a way to do that. So essentially, podcasting initially became my therapy, free therapy. I was just screaming into a microphone about what was making me angry, about not drinking, about how everybody was drinking, and how I had nobody to hang out with because everybody was drinking. And that's pretty much what it was for the first, the last podcast was 85 episodes or so. And that's what I was talking about, just everything. Oh, I did this today. I did this today. And I'm pissed off about this. It was like a very boring, very dull version of WTF with no guests. Just imagine the sad part at the beginning of his podcast. That's what mine was. But then I killed that, and then I took a couple months off, and the Bander says, oh, we got a super chat, and then I'll get back to that. Thanks for answering my questions today and for helping all of us. Keep up the great work. Sean Park, thank you very much for answering or asking the questions. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for the super chat. Very much appreciate that. So I took a few months off after my first official podcast, which lasted 85 episodes. And then when I launched the Bander Says podcast, I had this grand scheme, this grand idea. Sorry about that. I got this cable hanging off because that goes to the arrow. But the plan was I'm going to talk about a single topic and do the research, and every single week I'm going to offer issues or solutions to that problem, like gun violence or online bullying or any of these very difficult to answer questions. And after 8 episodes of this, I just found myself miserable because all I was doing was researching terrifying topics where it's surrounded by sadness. Oh, online bullying leads to this, leads to depression, leads to suicide, leads to all this negative stuff. And I was surrounding myself with that, and I was like, oh, well, I shouldn't be doing this because now I'm miserable. So I did 8 episodes, and then I stopped for a few weeks to reassess what I was doing. And because I do love tech, I was like, well, you know what? I don't really follow tech too much because I don't have the time. So this is just a good way for me to set aside a couple of hours every single week to read up on the latest tech news, and then go ahead and put it into a podcast and put it out there. And if anybody wants to listen, they can. But it really is, the Bander Says podcast really is just for me to have fun and to research tech and talk about tech because I enjoy doing that. There's no grand scheme. There wasn't any really big motivating factor. I guess why I got into podcasting was because I stopped drinking. I had nobody to talk to about it. I had no friends who didn't drink. So I needed to vent. I needed a place to vent. I needed, it was free therapy. So I guess I could have just said that. But now it's just for fun. Absolute fun. Thank you for that question, man. That was a lot of fun to answer. Rocky Balboa. Oh, cyberbullying isn't real. Tyler, the creator, is right. Just log off. You know, I'm on the fence there. We're not going to get into that here. That's not what this channel is for. We got the same Rocky Balboa saying, why haven't you got rid of Mac OS and Windows in replace of the superior Linux? It's something I have considered. It's something I have considered. What are your Windows PC specs from the elitist? Head over to twitch.tv/podcastage, and the specs are there. I don't know much about them. I bought a pre-made computer and then put a GPU and a power supply in there. This channel is for conspiracy theories only. Nah. Andrew Shepard says, because I'm still working on a custom audio distro for him. I look forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun. I am considering to start a podcast, but there is a little problem. I don't know what to talk about. Any tips? Direct me to your podcast again. Here you go. www.bandrewsays.com. And that link will go ahead, and it has links to the YouTube channel that everything's uploaded to. It has links to subscribe on Android. It has subscribe on Apple Podcasts, all that kind of stuff. And it has the show notes and all that. So, finding something that you want to talk about for your podcast. I don't think you should start a podcast for the sake of just starting a podcast because you want to be a podcaster. I think you should be starting a podcast because you have something you want to talk about. So, the first thing I would say is talk about something that you personally enjoy and you would be okay talking about if nobody was listening. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, I don't believe in the developing podcast topics for the sake of blowing up and getting hugely famous and popular. I don't believe in that. All these entrepreneur podcasts, more power to you if that's what you're passionate about. But if you're starting an entrepreneur podcast to just blow up and get famous, I don't care. I don't like the whole, we'll help you develop podcast topics and a focus for your podcast so you can get famous and popular and make thousands of dollars. I don't care about that. I think it really just comes down to, what do you want to talk about? What are you passionate about? What would you be talking about if there wasn't a microphone around? If there wasn't a microphone around, when there isn't a microphone around, I still scream about tech and I still scream about conspiracy theories to everybody who's listening. So that's why I do a podcast, because it's fun for me. So I don't think there's any specific way that I would recommend to developing a topic or a focus. It's just talk about what you want to talk about. Don't think I'm going to talk about this because it's what's popular and it's what I love. I said that so condescending. It's what I love. If it's what you love, talk about it. God, I'm contradicting myself now. Where's the best place to upload a podcast to? I personally really like Libsyn. There's Podbean. There's Blueberry. There's a lot. I would say go with a paid podcast host because it's much more likely to be around. I personally use Libsyn. It's not the prettiest, but I really do love Libsyn because it allows you to distribute to everybody. They stay up to date with the new podcasting standards from Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everything, all the new fields that are required. They stay up to date with it. Podbean stays up to date with it. Blueberry stays up to date with it. They are all really good. I have personally not found anything that Libsyn doesn't do for me. And what I mean by that is I never try to do something on Libsyn and say, oh, well, I can't do that. But I am not a power podcaster. I don't do a lot of this stuff where I don't need the analytics that a lot of the 100,000 download per episode podcasts probably need. And I don't have downloads that require a ridiculous amount of bandwidth. So for me, it's the one that I found first. It's the one that I signed up for. It's the one that I have stayed with and really enjoy. Dude, I don't know what you want from me in terms of the 635A. We're not going to get into conspiracy theories on this podcast or on this channel. I listen about conspiracy theories, but I can rarely listen to you live. Recording mostly. Keep it up, Andrew. Thank you, Ducky. The Superlux E205. I don't think I have. Can you say hi to my kittens? Hello, elitists. Kittens. There you go. You got Anthony C. chiming in. He's been uploading to Podbean for almost 2 years and never had any issues. I've been uploading to Libsyn for 3 years, never had any issues. As long as you go with, I know this is bad to say because there are startups, but I just like, I prefer to pay for something because I feel like they're going to be more willing to help me if I have any issues, and they're going to be more likely to be around. I don't want to start uploading somewhere and then have them disappear overnight. Okay, did you try Harrison Mix? I haven't yet. I haven't because I got a bunch of plugins that I have to test out. I have not done it yet. I still have the comment and the link saved though. Can you use a Synology NAS and GoDaddy domain? It works for me. Oh, you can use. There you go. I have not used either of those microphones, Dan. Show me the electric. I don't have the 635A in the background. I don't have it. I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere over here. If you want to see, I did a review on the 635A. I don't know what you want. I don't know what benefit it's going to do. Hi from Bulgaria. Thank you, sir. Or ma'am. It's like, okay. Can you 635A? Y'all are getting nuts. You're all getting nuts. What inspires you to work with microphones on YouTube? I was trying to research so when I first started my podcast, I was researching microphones, and I couldn't find videos with the information that I was looking for. And I've been streaming for an hour now. Oh no. So I've been streaming for 4 hours today consecutively. My gosh. I'm not even going to be able to talk in voice chat later. But I was researching microphones. I couldn't find the information that I was looking for. Straightforward sound tests, talking about the specs, talking about the benefits. Most of the videos that I saw were just people unboxing it for 10 minutes and then talking about their day. And then they would throw a 30-second sound clip in there. So I was like, well, you know what? There's information that I want that's not out there. Maybe there's somebody else out there that wants this information. I know a little bit about microphones. I'll go ahead and try to help people out, and it'll be fun because I like microphones. I like recording. Let's just screw around and have some fun. It was just a lack of information that I was looking for, and I thought, you know what? I've gained so much out of YouTube. Let's go ahead and start uploading, and maybe somebody will get some value out of it. And surprisingly enough, some people did. I'm shocked. Let's start a new viral trend, 635A-ing. Oh God. I enjoy my SM58, but should I get the SM7B? Bo Beats, how you doing, man? How are you doing, Bo? Happy to see ya. Super happy to see your channel still growing. If anybody here is a synth head, a synth nerd, go check out Bo Beats. Awesome channel. He just got a write-up in was it a newsletter from Arteria? I think it was. Saw that on Twitter. But I think the SM7B is one of the best microphones. I've made it no secret that this is one of my favorites, if not my favorite. And you know what? Here's what I would say. When you're recording with your SM58, after you're done recording, you say, oh man, I don't like how that sounds because of this frequency range right here, this presence boost really is starting to make me sound nasally. I really hate it. I don't want that anymore. You could try EQing it out. It's not going to be perfect, but you could try that. But if you're not happy with it, this is going to, I think, be a killer option for you, especially if you want to get a little bit more neutral sound, a more vintage sound. This is more vintage sounding, smoother sounding, and it's the thing I love about the SM7B. This thing is just so dang easy to listen to. I could probably put this in front of anybody, no matter how annoying their voice, like this guy right here talking into this microphone. I could put this in front of my voice, and it makes my voice not terrible to listen to, which is why I love it so much. So if you are unhappy with how your recordings are sounding because of the SM58, I would recommend the SM7B to anybody, as long as you have a good preamp or a good interface, because it is gain hungry. This thing needs 60 decibels of gain almost. You could get away with it if you record at negative 12 decibels or anything, but that's what I would say. I mean, it's an amazing microphone. What else can I say? Current mic sounds good too. Yeah, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a secret. So, okay. Sure, SM7B, no. I'm not going to switch microphones during this. I'm going to end it soon, I swear. I said 15 minutes ago that I was going to end it. So, I am using the RE27ND with the high pass filter on. This is not the neutral mode. This is the neutral mode. And as you can tell, it's very, very bright and very harsh, and I do not like it. It picks up all the mouth noises. All right, Rocky Balboa. It hid your comment where you said that thing. So have a good day. But with the high pass filter on, I don't hate it. I'm going to be doing a review of this very, 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 very soon. But with the high pass on, I actually rather like it, especially when you throw some post-processing on it. Really nice stuff. Make it stop. Make it stop. Yeah, it stopped. It is awful. Do you know how to remove the background noise from any microphone? There's a couple options there. Depends on if you got money or not. You could buy a noise removal plugin. Waves.com. They do some good plugins that do some... That was gross. Yeah, it was. They have like Z Noise, they have X Noise, they have the W43 noise removal plugin. And if it's a consistent noise, you can go ahead and do that. If it's reverb, there are de-reverb tools like Deverb, I think it's called. Been testing that for a bit. I like that if you have excess reverb, but the best thing about it is the best course of action for anybody. If you have issues with the sound of your microphone or the sound of your room, the background noise, fix it before you hit record. That's the best thing you can do. If there's fan noise in the background and that's really bothering you and you're trying to record professionally, turn off the dang fan. If the AC is on, turn off the dang AC. You may get hot, you may get sweaty, but who cares? Your audio is going to sound much better. If there's kids yelling in the background, go tell them to shut up. Hey kids, shut up. Get off my lawn. The best thing you can do is fix the audio before you even hit record. Okay. We had something up here. If you have Reaper, use the noise gate. Yeah, I don't have Reaper, but yeah, that's a... Noise gates are very helpful there. There's Deverb, there's Z Noise, which is, I think it's a phase inversion type of noise removal. It learns what the noise profile is, and I'm guessing, I don't know much about it, but I'm assuming they invert the phase of that learned noise profile, and that just cancels it out. Another question. I have issues with plosives. Any tips? Looks like Andrew already got your question. Yeah. Mic placement and a pop filter. Angle the microphone about 45 degrees from your mouth. Speak past the microphone like this. So if I was speaking directly into the microphone, you would have a lot worse plosives. But if I'm like this, a lot better plosives. It's not. It does alter the audio a little bit. You could, talk past the microphone, and you're getting a much better performance in terms of plosives. I did just get a plugin that's called Plosive Remover, but I don't know if that's going to, well, we'll see how it works. Okay. The Son of the Living God. Thanks. Got it. All right. I actually think I got to end it there. I've been streaming for actually 4 hours today. My voice is killing me. I got a hankering for some pizza. If you guys want to, yeah, pizza. Thank you very much for your answer. Okay. Ooh, there's some hatred going on there. But you know, I can't talk to my friends all the time. That's why I want to podcast. Oh, yeah. We're just gonna go ahead and. I see what the hate was. I understand it now. And I disagree with what that person was saying. I don't agree with that at all. I'll just come on and say I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God or Jesus or anything. No, not for me. More power to you, but don't come in here and start pushing your religion. It's a channel about microphones. Let's talk about microphones, not religion. Knock it off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. Thank you to everybody who sent super chats. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys made this a blast. So much so that I stuck around 45 minutes longer than I was planning on. I was planning on just doing 30 minutes updating you guys on this, but you guys made it so much fun that I stuck around. Could you read this comment? There you go. Praise Nimrod. There you go. All right, guys. I appreciate you all. I will be uploading the test. I will be uploading the podcast on Sunday or Monday on this channel, and we'll see how much hate we get. So that'll be interesting to see. And then merch, twitch.tv, bandrewsays.com, Geeks Rising, youtube.com/pod. I don't know. I'm just plugging stuff for the sake of plugging stuff. I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Greetings, Earthlings. See ya. How do you stop streaming on this? Oh, the big button that says stop streaming.